Hey everyone. I'm back. I'm back streaming again a bit. When did I last stream? Nintendo Direct or Freedom Planet? No, I think it was Freedom Planet 2. We played a little bit. That was before I'd still finished the Jurassic Park video, which I hope you've all watched. Hello Ted, hello Steve, and also hello Matt and L. I hope Ted and Steve, you guys are having a fun time on your little trip, on your little holiday without me. But it's fine. That's I'm just stuck on the other side of the world. It's fine. For some reason, OBS wasn't letting me have the chat in OBS itself, so I've got to like. Oh, you just got back from. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, because OBS is supposed to let me have the chat like embedded in OBS, and it was, but just it wasn't showing anything. Anyway, whatever. It's fine. Um, but good to know I can be seen and heard. Everyone's responding. That's fine. Yeah, so I figured there's been a lot of information. The past, you found a store that would kill me instantly. That's great. Been a lot of information about Bayonetta 3 over the past week. I think it was about a week ago, maybe a little bit less. I think it's been a little bit less than a week since Helena Taylor released her Twitter video thread thing about the whole situation that's come up recently, and that whole thing has put like a big kind of like downer on the game for me. I've been really excited. It's Bayonetta 3. I mean, I've shown that clip before several times of me like screaming at the top of my lungs when it was announced. Like I was so excited. I love this character and I love her games. I love these types of games. I love most of the stuff, maybe not most, but like a lot of the big sort of high profile stuff that Platinum's made. It's all been fantastic, really, or at least to varying degrees of fantastic. Like I just finished Astral Chain. I was playing that as sort of research for Bayonetta 3, because I know that Bayo 3 has some of the mechanics, actually quite a lot of mechanics brought over from Astral Chain. So it's got the whole sync attack thing of sort of summoning the big demons and shit. But we'll kind of go into that in a bit. But yeah, I thought we're a week, less than a week away from launch. So in like 6 days from now, I will have been playing Bayo 3 for probably about an hour or two already, because at the moment I'm still planning on buying the game. I haven't canceled my pre-order. I was tempted to when all the information, when Helena Taylor stuff was coming out originally, and I was like, oh, I want to do the right thing, and like I want to support her, and I want to stand up for voice actors and just game dev in general, of people getting paid a proper wage, especially for a role as like it's the third Bayonetta game. She's also been in an anime movie and in Smash Brothers. Like it's a pretty big deal um, coming back. That's like a kind of a selling point. Like the character of Bayonetta sells the games arguably more than the combat at this point, because there's going to be a lot of people that aren't super familiar with these types of games, or who aren't very good at these types of games, and they're coming in to play it to play it anyway, because the character of Bayonetta is so appealing and so funny and just enjoyable. Yeah, Bayonetta, exactly. Um, so not having her voice, that is like that's, to be honest, like even regardless of the controversy, that's still my main sort of point of contention with the game. Other than like some sort of visual aesthetic stuff, I think visually the game's like it's all right, but it does feel a bit flat compared to Bayo 2, which was very vibrant and beautiful. Yeah, voices are very important. I think Critical made a really good point of saying like all the people that say that voice acting doesn't matter or whatever. Oh, it's fine, just get anyone. It was like, yeah, well, go play the game on mute and then come back and tell me like how much you got out of that story or that character. I don't think you would enjoy those very famous, lovable characters so much if you listen to them on mute and you didn't hear their voice. Like that's a huge change in the intended sort of experience of seeing these characters. A lot of people misunderstanding the wages that voice actors get. 4,000 or 15,000 or whatever is still nothing for the role she has. Yeah, there's sort of been a big thing of people saying like 4,000, because Helena Taylor's whole thing, we'll sort of here we'll switch over to the Switch. I had the eShop up just so I could like look on the store page for Bayo 3 for a bit while I talk. The whole thing was Helena Taylor saying they offered me $4,000 to do the whole game for Bayonetta. I wanted more, and then they replaced me, basically. And there has since been more information from the Bloomberg article by with Jason Schreier and all that stuff about that not quite being the full story, that they did offer to pay her more, and then that still wasn't quite enough, or that instead of being $4,000 for the whole game, it was like $4,000 per session and all that stuff. And there's been a lot of people saying like, well, $4,000 for the whole game is actually like normal. That's like normal pay rates for voice acting. And even if that is the case, that's the problem. Like that's part of the issue. That's not a lot of money to voice Bayonetta. Like Bayonetta's not Mario, and she's not like, I don't know, I was gonna say like Master Chief, but I mean Master Chief talks, but like not. I'm not familiar with Halo, but Bayonetta is while the series itself has never sold like incredibly well, this is also its third entry on the Switch with a huge player base. After she's already been in two Smash Brothers games, three Smash Brothers games, 3DS, Wii U, and Switch Ultimate. Bayonetta is more recognizable than ever. Way more than when like Bayo 2 came out, and then obviously Bayo 1 was like a whole new IP. That was also sort of coming out a little after DMC 4, which was sort of when those types of games started to kind of like peter out a little bit, because there was obviously a huge gap between DMC 4 and 5, all that stuff. So Bayo 3 is probably going to be the best-selling game in the series, regardless of the boycott thing, which probably actually helped the sales anyway. And now that things are a bit grayer, people are probably, people like me that were maybe going to cancel are probably like, I think I'll still get it. So there's that whole thing, which just, people saying like, oh, she, this is actually a normal amount, and she was just complaining, is kind of, well, just because that is the normal amount for voice acting doesn't mean it's okay. And I've seen people say that, well, she doesn't have like other roles in voice acting. You look at her credits for games, and she hasn't like done many other games, other than Bayonetta. So therefore she doesn't deserve to get paid like a good rate for this like incredibly beloved iconic character who is known for her voice. Like I don't agree with that. Like just because like she has other work, it's just not in voice acting. It's in like theater and film and stuff. Like why should that mean that she doesn't get to get paid like better than the very low standard that's already been set? I think that's a bit stupid. I opened Astral Chain up because I finished the game recently in my, sort of preparation for Bayo 3, and I thought it was okay. And there's a bit of post-game stuff, which is just combat, which means, it's the one part of the game that is, like, pretty good consistently. So I was like, I can just play some more of this, while we chat about Bayonetta stuff, and I might change over to Bayonetta 2 afterwards as well. If you couldn't tell, I tried to make Samus because character creator, who am I gonna make? Let me think about that. I basically always make Samus. It's just my go-to. Yeah, this game is okay, but it is very anime. And the combat takes a long time before it gets like really good. But yeah, I think in general, Helena Taylor expecting to get more money was not like unreasonable. Even if they did offer like 20 grand for the whole game, you still got to think this is a Nintendo published like AAA action game that's probably going to sell at least a few million copies. Hold on, I'm reading your message, Brian. The whole thing has sparked enormous public discourse about proper compensation for people's talent, and I think that's good for something, despite our message a little bit. Yeah, I agree. I think in general, even the boycott thing, like I was supporting it, of saying like, hey, if you want to boycott, like go ahead. But I think the more important thing is just the general discourse of getting people to realize like people don't, if this was a film, you'd be getting like millions, like. 500,000 or something. And I'm not gonna pretend that voice acting is as demanding as film, because, you know, film, you have to go on location, you have to arguably take, you know, like she said, Bayonetta took like 4 days of like a like four day half sessions, basically, of like 4 hours a day for 4 days to voice Bayo 1 and 2, roughly, something like that. Bayo 3 was probably about the same. Obviously, when you're doing a live action film, you're involved in the process a lot longer than that. You know, you might be there for months, like shooting and reshooting and doing all this stuff. You have to act physically, you might have to do stunts and acting alongside other people and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not going to pretend that voice acting is inherently like the same amount of work all the time as like a live action film, especially like a demanding like action film or something. But it's still work, and it's still talent that still deserves to be paid properly. And this is also a thing of how like voice acting doesn't really have the same like celebrity status as like live action acting, which isn't, I mean, the idea of celebrity, you know, is like, I don't know how you feel about that, but the celebrity pull is what gets people paid better. Maybe it gets them paid too much. I'm sure Chris Pratt on that Mario movie is getting paid like 20 times more than Helena Taylor ever would have gotten paid for Bayonetta. Easily. And obviously Mario is a bigger thing, and it's a big film, but like, games also make a fuck ton of money. Like, games, I mean, I've heard the statistic in general that like games are making more money than the film industry now. Which, like, probably is true. I mean, it's not all games. I doubt Bayonetta 3 is making more money than the Mario movie. But as a general thing, you know, fucking Fortnite, that shit's making more money than like any other thing. Also, Ted, if you're still here, you know, come back, look here, gotta show you something. You know, for my Platinum Games fans, don't consider this as like a full endorsement of Astral Chain, because again, I think the game is okay. It's all right. It's not amazing, but it does have Blade mode from Metal Gear Rising, which, you know, is kind of cool. It also has Blade Wolf. You literally get Blade Wolf in this game, which is kind of neat, and you can ride him. So, and when he runs, it's basically Raiden's Ninja Run from MGR, where he sort of like automatically vaults over stuff and dodges and things. I didn't know this until I had to look up a video to help me for the ridiculously hard final boss of this game. But when you're riding the Blade Wolf Beast Legion, you're literally invincible. You can't get hit. You just literally cannot get attacked by anything. I didn't know that. Yeah, I think there is some sort of Evangelion shit. Not that I'm familiar with it. I've never seen it. I'm not an anime person. But I do see the similarities. And again, I think this game is okay. I will say, if you like Nier Automata, you will probably like this game. I didn't like Nier Automata, so there's a lot of stuff in this game I really didn't like. But I think it's okay. And also, this is basically Zendatsu. That's Raiden Zendatsu right there, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so the gimmick of Astral Chain is sort of like, you're still controlling yourself, just you don't have like a ton of combos and junk. Yeah, there should be MGR too, but it's more about sort of controlling yourself and your legion or legions sort of alongside each other. So this is a thing I can do where I make them slow down time, and then if you want to sort of like get Stinger, like zoom over to an enemy, you can like shoot your legion. You can shoot your legion to them, like that, and then pull yourself over. Which honestly still feels a bit clunky to me. And the camera in this game, camera's not good. I don't like the camera in this game at all. The amount of times it has fucked me over, insane. You could even see it just there before, where like I was stuck, couldn't see shit. Very frustrating. But it's okay. This game is alright. It was actually a little tricky for me to find a copy of it because I didn't realize it had gone out of print. Like, they're not selling new physical copies of it anymore. So, I had to, like, get a pre-owned one from EB Games, and I didn't even know if it was going to have the case and stuff, but it did, thankfully. Also, let me know if the audio is too loud or not, because it sounds like a little bit loud to me at the moment, but not, like, super loud, so... yeah, like, the problem with Astral Chain is it takes a long time before it gets, like, pretty good. And even when it is really good, there's still shit holding it back. Like, the final boss has instant kill attacks, and it goes on for, like, way too long. There's a boss you fight that's so tall, you can only see, like, its knees on the camera, but it's attacking with its arms, like, up above you. It's like, dude, I can't see. Like, I literally can't see what you're doing. It's very frustrating. It also has, like, these weird order rewards things where, like, you do something, you get a reward, but then you have to come into here to get the reward. Like, I've already done it. Just give it to me. This is, like, Fortnite Battle Pass shit. Like, why is that in this game? And also the Legion, like, level up thing. There's a fucking skill tree. I don't like skill trees. They're annoying, because then it means, like, I want to get this move, but I have to waste shit. I have to waste money and resources, because it's not just currency. There's, like, 3 different currencies and all this shit. It's not, like, pay to win, or it's not, and there's no real money, but just, like, it's all gathering little trinkets and little bits of things to sell and number. It's like, fucking Bayonetta has 1 currency. Just give me a currency and give me an item shop where I can buy things. So much easier. But, again, it's a bit more like Nier Automata than, like, other Platinum stuff, but there's definitely a lot of shared DNA. If you noticed before as well, like, the Sword Legion has Virgil summon swords. So, there's a ton of DNA shared here, but, also, all of the, like, the Legion attacks are based on cooldown, which I really don't like. That's just a general thing I really don't like in combat-based games. God of War did that as well. Fuck. Can't see shit, man. Yeah, God of War did that too, where, like, all of your big special moves are just a cooldown, which means that there's, like, no skill in being able to do them multiple times, which I really don't like. If you notice the Beast Legion's attacks, it's like it's literally Blade Wolf's moveset. I'm getting attacked from off screen. That happens a ton in this game as well, where enemies will just hit you when you can't even see them. Which is, like, a big no-no in these kind of games. Very frustrating. But yeah, so the Bayo 3 thing is still... Like, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, like, I'm still excited for the game, but my excitement has, like, vastly gone down because of all this news. Like, I just feel, like, kind of numb, and, like, man, I was so looking forward to it, and just... And even if it wasn't a huge controversy, even if it was just that they said, like, hey, we're 100% confirming Helena Taylor is not in the game. Like, regardless of what little theories you have, like, no, she's just not in it at all. Because they'd already said they'd replaced her with, Oh, I realized, I forgot, I was supposed to be testing out my system for recording gameplay footage while I stream. So I just turned that back, I just turned that off. This stream is partially a test for when I play Bayo 3 next week. I'm going to be streaming the whole game. I'll talk more about this as well, but I'm going to be streaming well, maybe not the whole game, we'll see. When I stream Bayo 3, I'm going to be recording the footage locally as well at a higher quality, without the webcam, and without me talking, like, just with the game sound, so that I can use that footage again later, when I make the video critique on it. Alright. Sorry, I was just checking some things. Why have I got this? Oh, it's fine. Sorry, let me get OBS back up. I'm gonna turn down the game volume a little bit. It's still... I'm just turning it down a tiny bit. It just sounds a little bit loud to me talking, although I guess I can change my mic balance here on... Wait, no. This one. No, 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 no. That way. There we go. Sorry. That should be a bit better. For me, at least. Hear myself a little louder, hear the game a bit quieter. Actually, that's too loud. I don't like it. Bring that back down. That's fine. Yeah, I'm still excited for the game of Bayo 3, of course, but the thing is... Oh, another thing I don't like much about this game, most of the game takes place in this fucking astral plane, like, boring... It just always looks like this. It's the same area, like, every time. I mean, the level geometry is different, but, it just feels the same every time. Also, yeah, being able to sort of draw, like, the chain around your enemies to tie them up is kind of like the Wonderful 101's Wonderliner. A little bit. Not quite the same, but similar. Shared thing. Wonderful 101 is great. You should definitely play it. What was I saying? Yeah, like, I'm still obviously still really excited to see how the gameplay of Bayonetta 3 goes, but the problem for me is that the character of Bayonetta is so appealing to me, and is a huge reason why I love those games. And now it's like, I don't even have that little theory in my head to hold on to anymore, that it's like not the real Bayonetta and that the real one's going to come back at the end of the game. So for anyone unfamiliar, Bayonetta in the third game looked and acts very differently to what I would expect from the character. She doesn't feel the same to me. Like, her design is clearly meant to look like her younger self from Bayonetta 1, Cereza. And, whoops, put the thing down. And that's clearly intentional, which, you know, made me and a lot of other fans think, okay, maybe the reason she's looking and acting so different is, like, on purpose. Like, it's like a story thing. Like, this is because it's the multiverse thing. Okay, this is, like, another Bayonetta that we're seeing. This is not the same one. And at the end of the game, like, the real one, the original Bayonetta is going to come back. And then it's gonna be great. Oh, we're gonna be one big happy family again. We're gonna have her back. Fuck, these controls sometimes are a bit finicky. And my Legion meter's down, so I can't summon one right now. Fuck. Jesus, I really don't like getting attacked off screen. That's really annoying. So now, yeah, now I don't even really have that hope anymore in the story of, like, well, hey, maybe this isn't... Oh, shit. Maybe this isn't the real Bayonetta, and maybe we'll get her back at the end of the game. Like, I can't have that hope anymore. Even if there is another Bayonetta in the game that's meant to be the original one, it's not going to matter as much anymore because she's not going to have the voice. Because... See, I have reason to think that might be the case still, because there was some... Hey, Ace. Yeah, we're discussing, all the Bayo 3 shit. Because in that Bloomberg article, they said that they apparently went back to offer Helena Taylor a role as a cameo in the game. And when I hear that, I think... Oh, fuck off. Oh, wait, dig. Wait, dig! Come out. When I hear cameo, I think original Bayonetta appearing at the end of the game as like a bookend. Like, hey, you've got her back, now you can play as the original one, or you can still play as the younger one who you've been playing as through the whole game. Play the same, but just like a skin change. It's like, now you can play as the Bayo from 1 and 2 with her voice, or you can play as the Jennifer Hale younger Bayonetta. That's what I was really hoping for. And now I don't have that hope anymore, so I just have to deal with the fact that, like, this character who doesn't feel like the character I know anymore, that's just how it is, and that's probably going to be how it goes forward for, like, a Bayonetta 4 as well. It'll probably still be Jennifer Hale, and maybe she'll sound better as the game goes on. It's not like we've heard tons of her voice. Maybe she'll be okay. You know, I don't think she's terrible, she just doesn't sound like Bayonetta to me. And that's, you know, a big problem. Also, the ranking system in this game fucking sucks. Like, I got hit, almost died. You can die, like, several times and still get an S+, which is the best rank in the game. It's insane. The ranking system in this game is really bad. What do you think about the news that she supposedly lied about it? Yeah, that's sort of... I haven't really gotten into that too much yet. But just to sort of wrap up with the game in general, I mean, I'm sure I'll come back and talk about it again. But with the game in general, I'm still looking forward to it. But the core of the experience of like playing it to get through that story and see what happens and be excited is like my reaction to what's happening in the story first time on stream. I mean, at least for the first few hours when I'm like trying to get used to it, it's probably not. It's not gonna feel right to me for a bit. I'm gonna be like, I'm having fun, but I don't feel like this is Bayonetta. You know, this still feels like another character like pretending to be her. So, I don't know. Because the appeal for Bayonetta for me is watching her do crazy, stupid shit and just funny stuff and like laughing and just getting really into it. I'm like, yeah, whoa, this is so dumb and cool. And if I don't feel like it's her character anymore, it's going to be hard for me to feel that way because it's like I'm watching someone else pretending to be her. So it's going to be weird. But I mean, at least like Jean and Rodin and everyone are still the same and they're probably still going to be really funny and likable and all that shit, but it's going to be really hard for me with Bayonetta not being the same voice because she just doesn't feel the same. So yeah, with Helena Taylor and with this Bloomberg thing, yeah, now there's all this talk of like, okay, did she lie? Because she might have. Or at least sort of semi-intentionally kind of misled the core of what she was talking about. And that's the thing with the 4,000, the 15, 20,000, the 6 figures or whatever, where apparently she asked for a 6-figure salary, or is salary the right word? A 6-figure, you know, rate for the whole game. Which I would say, as the lead of a game this big, and in the third entry where it's proven to be a hit with fans and people and with the marketing and all that stuff going forward, and like, you know, it's on a system that has sold incredibly well, unlike Bayonetta 2, which was on the Wii U that no one had. You know, this is very likely to sell better than any other Bayonetta game. We don't know for sure, but it is likely. Also, this game really wants you to like use items a lot. I like never use them through the whole game until I got to the final boss, where I basically had to, because the final boss is like kind of bullshit. It's okay once you sort of get a hold of it, but I'd still think it's a bit bullshit. So yeah, now it's yeah, sort of like, okay, did she lie about how much she was offered? What's going on? Platinum put out a statement yesterday, I think, but it was like the most nothing statement ever. It was basically just, we support Jennifer Hale as Bayonetta, which is like, well, okay, we probably kind of assumed that already, considering you hired her. So like, that's not really anything new for us to go off here. And give me the shield. Tie him up. Oh, actually no. Tie up the sword. Sword's faster. I didn't even mean to do that spin move, but whatever. Tie him up. There we go. This whole thing where like the character flashes and then you do an attack with the Legion is a sync attack, which is also in Bayonetta 3, by the way. So that's a big reason I played this before 3. Shit. Slow down. Time. Yeah. I think the sync attack stuff is pretty fun, and I'm actually looking forward to seeing how that feels in 3, in Bayonetta 3. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, so Platinum's statement didn't really help much because they just said, we agree with Jennifer Hale's statement, and Jennifer Hale's statement was basically just, hey, I'm Bayonetta now, like, don't attack people for making this game. Like, it's not... doesn't really offer a whole lot of meaningful information about the actual core of the issue. Because I'm pretty sure most smart people already were aware that, like, Jennifer Hale's not the one at fault here. Like, she just did the role that she was hired to do after they recast Helena Taylor. That's not her fault. That's not her decision. I doubt she was like, hey, you guys should fire Helena Taylor. Like, that wouldn't have been her call. They would have gotten her on after that. After getting rid of her. Or after deciding, nah, she's too expensive, we don't want to do it. So, oh my god, that's another thing I hate about this game. Why does it let you open, like, the camera and the police notes while you're in the middle of combat? It's very strange. Because the D-pad on the Switch Pro Controller isn't great, as I'm sure a lot of people already know. It's very easy to like accidentally put in the wrong input. So the amount of times I've been in the middle of fighting and it brings up the little detective police notes thing that has no notes in it because I'm in a fight anyway. Like, why would you let me open those notes when I'm in the middle of a fight? What is the point of that? It's very strange. Yeah, so like Platinum's statement didn't really mean that much, and it was just basically saying go read Jennifer Hale's statement, which also didn't mean that much. So we're still really just at like a, well, what do we do now kind of thing of like who are we supposed to believe? I am inherently more inclined to believe, you know, an individual actress who felt wronged by a big corporation than I am to believe the corporation, you know? Not that Platinum themselves have said anything, although Helena Taylor claims that the sources citing the stuff about her contract are A, not true. Like, that's the other thing, is she's just said, no, this is all not real. Which is like, oh, great. Well, like, now it's just becoming they said this, no, that's wrong. Well, we said this, she's wrong. You know, like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? But, oh wait, I forgot what I was making the point of before that. Brain, please. I'm struggling to remember what I was actually about to say. Let me think. Because yeah, it's basically sort of devolving into a, well, this person said that, and this person said this, and we don't know who to side with, really. Ow, ow, ow. Chain them up. And that... Yeah, not Jennifer... I've completely lost track of what I was about to say. I was in the middle of a sentence which was leading into another one, and now I've lost it. This is why I script my videos. I normally have pretty good stream of consciousness when talking, but I am also being a bit of an epic gamer right now, so it's a bit difficult to keep track of everything. Jeez, a lot of enemies for this one. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Cool thing you can do with the legions in this is what's called a perfect call, which is kind of a parry. Oh, audio cut out for a sec there. Which is kind of a parry, where you, when you're about to get attacked, you can call your legion and sort of deflect. Fucking hell. Like, Jesus, man. You can kind of, like, deflect the attack, by calling the legion at the same time, like a big explosion, and then if you have the upgrade for it, you get a chance to do a sync attack, like right from that. So that's a pretty fun mechanic that I quite like. I'll try and do some if I can in a sec. Something about Jennifer Hale and Platinum statements being very nothing, yeah, and it's much easier to side with an individual. Right, that's the other, yeah, so we don't actually know who necessarily, you know, has the information of the agreement with Helena Taylor and Platinum. Like, it's just sort of anonymous sources, which is fine. I mean, they're not going to want to say stuff like that, you know, publicly. They could lose their jobs and all that kind of stuff. I get it. So, yeah, now she's saying that they're wrong, and the Platinum's just trying to cover their ass, you know, with the game. But we don't actually know if who's saying this, because the anonymous sources could be people from Platinum just going in and saying stuff, and they could be saying something truthful, or they could be kind of making something up for the sake of the article, you know, to get the word out, and be like, no, it's fine, because the narrative has shifted pretty drastically now. People are like, oh, I'm going to buy 3 copies of the game. Like, yeah, we don't have to boycott it anymore. Things are fine. And, you know, it's definitely grayer, and I was already sort of like, oh, I think I'm still going to get the game because I really want to play it. As much as I love Helena as Bayonetta, and I'm absolutely gutted she's not in the game. I've been gutted about it for over a year since the footage was shown off where it wasn't her voice. I was like, that's not Bayonetta, that's someone else. As much as that really, like, hurts, like, really, really hurts for me that it's not her, it's still a video game. and that video game can exist without her. Maybe not quite as good, but the core gameplay is still going to be the game kind of thing. So, and also, this capture card I'm using to stream right now, I bought this basically just for Bayonetta 3, because I knew I wanted to stream it and record it when it came out and do a video on it. So, even when all the talk was like, boycott, I was like, well, I want to, but, like, I want to do the right thing to help. But, like, I still want to play the game, and I feel like my sort of, not job, because it's not a full-time job, but my, my sort of career on the side of doing YouTube stuff kind of relies on me getting this game so I can cover it. And I saw people saying stuff like, well, you could buy it secondhand, like you buy it pre-owned like a few days later maybe, or a week after it comes out. And I thought that, but it's like, I've already organized a day off work for the launch, like the launch day of Bayo 3. It's a long weekend, I got the whole time to get through it all, play it. So like do I have other toilet paper for this side quest? I don't think I do. I do? Okay. Yeah, so even before things sort of shifted, I was like, I think I'm still going to get it. And now that it's even grayer, I'm even more like, yeah, look, I'm just going to still get it. I don't know what's going to happen. There's probably going to be, another thing to keep in mind, anyone watching this as like a VOD, after the stream, please keep in mind I'm only going off the information we have right now. Things could change. There could be more information tomorrow, or the next few days, or in a week when the game comes out, or after the game comes out. Could be all sorts of shit that happens. We really don't know. Could be anything.
Well done.
So
I knew I could count on you.
Yeah. In terms of my plan for the day the game comes out, is I am going to go to EB Games basically when they open, 9 o'clock. Pick up the game. I'm getting the special edition, by the way. That's another reason I was like hesitant to cancel it, because it's like, well, I could probably buy the game pre-owned. I highly doubt I'm going to be able to get the special edition back, like the art book. Like, there's no way that's going to be for sale anywhere for a decent price. So that was the other thing where I was like, well, if I cancel it, I'm not going to get the art book. And I know that's still, like, it's more money to Nintendo and Platinum, but, like, it's also just the artists and stuff. Like, I'm not saying that... I've seen a lot of people saying, like, well, if you boycott the game, then the devs aren't getting supported. And it's like, well, they're probably... The devs aren't going to get residuals anyway. They've already been paid. That's not... It's... I've never heard of game dev or VFX or animation, like those people getting residual royalties off of something after release. I've never heard of that once. Doesn't happen. Brand's in a similar spot with Sonic Frontiers. You invested in recording equipment for the sake of making a well-produced video, despite how iffy the game looks, you're locked in. Yeah, no, I get it. Took time off to work for it. Frontiers, we can chat a little bit about Frontiers too. That comes out like just a week and a half after Bayonetta 3. Currently, no confirmation of me getting a review copy or anything. I don't have any idea if that's going to happen. I don't know when I'll know. Maybe I'll know like a day or two before... Maybe I'll know like, a day or two before launch. Because if I get a review copy, I don't think it's an early copy. It's going to be like launch day, which is fine, because I just want to stream it on launch. Like stream it and then do a video after. I'm not planning on doing a video that's like made before, like an advance thing, where like people get the game early and then release the video like when the embargo drops. I'm not planning on doing that, because I don't have the time. I would have to quit my job to be able to do that shit. I would love to be able to do stuff like that in the future, but that would require me to be at least part-time with my actual job, because I can't... I can't do that shit. Let's slow down time a bit here. Yeah, I don't have the time for that. So, with Frontiers, it would be cool to get... the review code and be able to stream the game and then cover it in due time, but the problem with that for me, that I'm a little bit like personally a bit iffy about, is that because it comes out so close to Bayo 3, is like I'm gonna be working on the Bayonetta 3 video when Frontiers comes out. So if I don't get a code, like a review code, I mean, it's less work for me. Like, I don't have to do it then. That's nice. I would still like to cover Frontiers. I'm curious to see what I'll think about it. But, you know, I'm not going to pretend that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if I had to do it later, because it means I get to finish the Bayonetta 3 thing first, then have a bit of a break, because I gotta say, working on that Jurassic Park video fucking drained the shit out of me. Please watch that video if you haven't already. That took me months to do, of editing like every fucking day. Well, not the editing didn't take months, but the overall process took a long time. And yeah, I was so drained making that, and I even to the point of when I put the final render up, I noticed like a couple just tiny little mistakes. Some of them were YouTube's fault, not even mine in the edit, like the compression on the video and audio, stuff like that. But I was just like, fuck it, I just want to release it. I'm so done. I just want to be finished with this. So that drained me a lot, and I've been very much enjoying not having to work after work the past few weeks. After finishing that video, it's like I finish work for the day, 5 o'clock, and then I go, hey, I can just game. Like, I can play Freedom Planet 2. I finished that. I played Iron Lung. I've played Astral Chain, which took me like 25 hours and all the shit. Like, I actually got to have time, like free time after work now, because I work from home now as well for my new job. So it means when I'm finished with work, it's like, well, I'm done. I'm already home. I can keep gaming. Do I know that Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope released yesterday? I know now. I know it was like out soon, but I'm not gonna play it. I don't care about that stuff. With Frontiers, I'm probably still gonna skip it until I hear some reviews. I still doubt it's gonna be very good from what we've gone off, but you never know. Yeah, Frontiers, you guys know. I still think it looks pretty bad. I think it does look a little bit better than when they showed it off, but I think the general, like, the sort of, like, mindset change that everyone's had of, like, the game's good now, the game's great now. I'm kind of like, wait, really? Like, are we being serious with this? Like, I don't think it looks that much better at all. I think the game still looks mostly the same, and still pretty bad. I was watching, I can't believe I missed these back when they came out, but, I was watching some videos yesterday from a channel called Nim Sony, who some of you guys are probably familiar with already, because apparently his videos were like quite big at the time they came out about Frontiers, and I'm wondering if I missed them because I was in LA at the time that they came out. Oh shit! I was trying to do the chain grab thing, it didn't work. What are these guys? Wait, I forget how to attack these guys. Do I have to like? Oh, okay. So, oh Jesus Christ! Put the thing in, yeah. Yeah, I might have missed it because I was in America at the time, so I wasn't like checking YouTube and shit every day. But yeah, he made videos about Frontiers and sort of why it just gameplay-wise doesn't look very good, and all that stuff. And it was like really cathartic for me, being like, oh my god, like someone else who's like putting into exact words the same way that I feel about this game. And yeah, really good stuff. But just, I still feel like a lot of those issues that he mentioned in that video are still in the game now. You know, it still looks kind of jank to me, and just boring and empty. And Sonic's, oh there we go, it's a perfect call. Sonic's animations still just don't feel like they have a ton of like feedback or weight, and just control-wise just doesn't look good. Level design's boring. I still think the game does not look good, even if it looks a little bit better than it did before. That's just me though. So I did not mean to do that. I do not think I will like the game, which is why I'm still not going to buy it. And I don't encourage people to buy me a review, like a gift copy on Steam. You probably won't be able to anyway, because Steam changes how region-based game prices work. Where I didn't mean to do the tornado. So for me, Frontiers is like what, $100 on Steam or something. For you guys in America, it's probably like 60. If you try to gift me the game, it won't let you because the prices are different. And it knows that I would be getting a better deal, like by getting someone to buy it for me from America because it's cheaper. So they don't actually let you do that anymore. But just regardless, I don't want people spending their money to buy, because I've had people say, oh, we'll just buy it for you, and I'm like, no, don't do it, guys, like, please. If someone does it, I mean, it's going to be hard for me to, like, decline it. It's like, well, they've already, you know, like, done it. I'd feel kind of, you know, like, well, I've got it now, but just still, I don't want people to do that for me. I would rather wait. If I can't get a review copy, I'd rather, like, wait a bit longer. At least wait till it's on sale or something, but I still don't want to buy it. I don't want to support it. What are my thoughts on the Frontiers music? I don't like it. I think it sounds bad. That's just me, though. Music is, like, 100% subjective. That is entirely just my opinion. You are not wrong for thinking the music is good or you know, enjoyable or whatever. That's just my opinion. What the hell? Did that bounce off something? What's it bouncing off? Get out of here. I'm very glad this is gyro aim for this as well. Get out of it. I don't want to... Oh, fucking hell. I was trying to cancel out of the aim mode and it wasn't doing anything. I swear sometimes the inputs in this game are just really unresponsive. And they just don't do shit. But yeah, because Frontiers comes out, like, right after Bayonetta 3, I am even more inclined to not play it straight away, because it means less work for me. Okay, where are these guys getting their shit from? This is, like, really annoying, having to dig up this shit. Just to attack these fucking enemies. How... what the fuck? I'm getting, like, that's an iframe attack and I'm still getting hit by shit. Fucking hell, man. Give me the Blade Wolf, please. No, I didn't want to use the arm. That was an accident. What's going on here? Fucking hell. Yeah, that's sort of what I got with Frontiers at the moment. The open zone music puts me to sleep, but I really love the cyberspace medley. I think I listened to a little bit of that, and I wasn't. Not my thing. It was not doing it for me. But that's just me, again. No. Also, the lock-on in this game fucking sucks. It makes me a little bit worried for Bayonetta 3's lock-on, because Bayo 3 is also, from what I've heard, using right stick lock-on, where you click the right stick in instead of okay, I literally can't fucking tell what's going on anymore. Where is this thing I have to... No, I don't want to attack. I can't do damage to it. Dig the thing. Dig the thing. Too much happening, man. Did I dig it? I don't know. Well, I'm out of here. Yeah, I don't like lock-on with right stick because I feel like it never works properly. Ow. Nice. Because when you lock on with right stick, you're sort of removing that, like, quick access, like, feedback of, like, holding it down or not holding it down and all that shit. And, yeah, I just feel like whenever there's a game with right stick lock-on, it just means it's going to be very unresponsive. Like, this game's lock-on and camera in general is just fucking terrible. So, not looking forward to that with Frontiers. Oh, no, with Bayonetta 3. Sorry. You're broken. So yeah, really hope it's not that bad, or maybe there's like a custom control option where you can change it. I don't know. But yeah, a little bit worried about that. Get him. Game looks surprisingly smooth on Switch. Might check it out, even though I don't play action games besides Nier. Well, as I've said, if you like Nier Automata, you'll probably like this game, because it's similar in a lot of ways, and that's part of why I don't like it that much, or as much as something like Bayonetta or DMC, or Wonderful 101, and things like that. I think the combat in this game is overall pretty good, but there's a lot of fluff. That's my problem. There's a lot of number fluff stuff as well, where like you have to upgrade your fucking weapon to do more damage and then unlock the moves, and I don't like that. I feel like an action game should have the same consistent damage values the entire time. The only upgrades you get are like actual new meaningful moves. I don't think, personally for me, you know, weapon do more damage now is not gameplay. That's bullshit. Like it's just pointless numbers. You know, I want it to be that I've got an upgrade and it's a meaningful new ability for me. Not just, oh, now my sword is better, but now it just does more damage. It should be better because I can do more with it. That's just my opinion. Yeah, Alice Marks, like the Splash Dash video, yeah, I watched that. It was pretty good. I think I agree with a lot of what he said in it, where he was like, yeah, I'm sort of more looking forward to stuff about the game, but I still think it's got problems. And he sort of mentioned a general thing that I have a bit of an issue with at the moment, with general discourse about Frontiers, which is that a lot of people are talking about, like, the sequel already, and I feel like... Notice how this whole time of me talking about Bayonetta 3, the only time I've said anything about a potential, like, follow-up is to do with Bayonetta's voice, of, like, going forward she probably will still be Jennifer Hale. That's because when a new game is coming out that you're excited for, that you want to play, you usually don't start talking about the hypothetical game after it and how it's going to be better. You don't do that. You only do that if the game you're looking forward to now doesn't look very good. And if you're looking for ways for it to improve going forward, because if the game you're looking forward to already looks good, why would you be saying like, oh, can't wait to see how they improve it in the next one? Like, you haven't even played it yet, and you're already looking for ways for it to be better. Which means, whether you notice it or not, you are acknowledging that you think the game doesn't look very good. And like I've had people get like kind of mad at me for that. Like someone like went out and subtweeted me about that on Twitter, getting all mad that I said that, and then like all the replies are just like assuming things about me as like this fictitious like hypothetical person that doesn't exist, saying that like, oh, these people are the ones that always say Sonic's bad, Sonic was never good, and they hate every Sonic game, and they keep bringing up Sonic 06 all the time. And I'm like, you could not be further off from me. Like, that's not me at all. You're just making shit up as an excuse to get mad about an imaginary boogeyman person that you want to get mad about this new Sonic game that doesn't look very good. I think it's just really fucking dumb and childish. But I think all that talk of like, yeah, the level design doesn't look very good, so, you know, hopefully in the next one it's better. It's like, no, it should, well, I mean, yes, but like, we shouldn't be saying that. It should be like, I hope this game coming out is good, and if it's not, then we just go, oh, well, it's shit, and just like own up to it. I'm not saying LS Mark's guilty of that. It's just a general thing I've seen people say. I've also seen people who, and I've fact-checked this, people who didn't like Sonic Mania, said Sonic Mania was like bad, or nostalgia pandering stuff because it had old levels in it, which, I mean, I agree, I wish Mania didn't have old levels in it, I completely agree with that. I've seen those people defend the reuse of old levels in Frontiers, saying it's actually awesome. Guess it's fine when the modern fans do it. When the 3D fans say it, it's fine when they say it, but when someone who likes the classic games says it, they're an evil villain. We don't like them. It's so fucking dumb. I hate Sonic fans sometimes, like, really. Why are my combos not working all of a sudden? I feel like my capture card might have delayed the audio a little bit again all of a sudden, but I don't know. I don't know how to best like fix that other than just like deactivating and reactivating the input source but I might have to turn off the recording thing I'm doing locally before it like breaks something if I do that. Here, let me ow. Let me give that a try in a sec, because I think the audio might be a little bit delayed. Or more delayed than usual. Because I think there's meant to be like a tiny bit of delay. Let me turn off the recording filter thing. Okay, that recording's done. And then let me just deactivate this. And reactivate it. Okay. Might be a little bit better. I don't know. Thoughts on Stranger Things 4? I've never watched Stranger Things, and I probably never will. I don't really care. Also, the thing about Astral Chain on Switch, like looking surprisingly smooth, the game runs at 30 FPS. And I forgot that before I played it, and I got really annoyed when I realized, like, I gotta play this game at 30 FPS. Fucking hell. I hate 30 FPS, especially in an action game. When I said the audio seemed delayed, I meant, like, by a tiny little amount that I thought I could notice. People are saying we're going to be in a new era of the series, and some people are calling it the Renaissance, which is odd because I'm pretty sure people said this when Generations dropped and then Lost World released. Yeah, calling this the Renaissance era is jumping the gun massively. Frontiers is not out yet. The only thing people have played are like is a 15-minute demo, basically, where you guys should watch Badnik Mechanics' video on it, where he brought up how all of the pathways and stuff you unlocked are like one way. It's like backtracking through this environment's gonna suck. The game I'm playing, Spin Dash, is Astral Chain. It is a game by Platinum that they made after Bayo 2. It was actually after Bayo 3 was announced that it came out. Not made by the same people. Directed by the guy, one of the lead game designers on Nier Automata, I think. It's okay. It's alright. I'm just playing it as like... I basically played it as research before playing Bayo 3 because Bayo 3 is going to have a lot of similar mechanics. Am I excited for the characterization in Frontiers? No. I'm interested, but I'm not excited. Because I just don't care about the game anyway. So, it just doesn't... Yeah, I just don't care. Really, like... I just think the game doesn't look good, and I genuinely, like, forget sometimes that it's actually coming out. Like, it's just not on my mind until I see other people talk about it. Only then am I like, oh, right. Yeah, there's, like, a new Sonic game coming out in, like, a couple weeks. But I just don't care. And I honestly kind of like that I just don't give a shit. Because it's just easier for me. Chain them up. Oh, fuck, didn't have enough for a sync attack. Ah, shit. Yeah, Frontiers just... I don't know. Have I played Mad World? No. I know of it. I do know of it, but no, I haven't played it. That's the one on Wii. Like the Sin City looking sort of comic book thing. Jesus. I swear that the dodging in this game is just shit as well. Like, it just feels, like, slower than all of Platinum's other stuff, and 30 FPS certainly doesn't help with that. And yeah, the dodge is just like less effective, there's less iframes and all that shit, so it's just really hard sometimes to tell, like, how do I even dodge something? Shit, stay back. Slow time. Do the arrows. Ah, fuck, okay. Wait. Axe, guard me. There we go. The cool thing with this is because it is kind of a disconnected combat system, you can sort of do stuff where, like, you're doing one thing and your Legion's kind of doing, like, a separate thing at the same time. I think that's kind of neat. There is definitely room... Fucking hell, I was hitting dodge, didn't do shit. Have I played Metal Gear Rising? Yes, I love that game. Never played No More Heroes, maybe I will one day. I've never played Yakuza, no. I know Ted has. I don't know if Ted's still here, but I know Ted has played Yakuza. Apok Edgy, he's a big fan. But no, never played them myself. Maybe someday, but I don't know. I probably should switch to Bayo 2 at some point soon, so I can play a little bit of that before Bayo 3 next week. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fuck. That's probably instant kill. If it's like the final boss, that move is probably instant kill. Not a fan of instant kill attacks. legions. Ow. That's the annoying thing. If your legion gauge like runs out, you just you're basically defenseless while you wait for it to recharge. Fuck. Yeah, I might switch to Bayo 2 after this fight. Play a bit of that. I haven't actually played Bayo 2 in a while. Yeah, you're just like invincible when you're on the back of Blade Wolf Beast Legion. It's a bit weird. Not very clear. Chain them up. Fuck them up. And just for context as well, this is post-game stuff I'm doing where it's just combat, which I like, because I didn't like all the other fluff that's in this game. I think this game has a lot of fluff. Shit. All the, like, the police detective stuff. Hey, I said ride the Beast Legion, why aren't you riding it? I swear there's shit in this game where it just doesn't respond sometimes. Like, I pulled out Beast Legion, I hit the button to ride it, and she didn't ride it. Also, like, I pulled out the Axe Legion, I hit the button for it to guard me, and it didn't. It, like, went somewhere else. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but it just felt kind of fucking stupid. Okay, is he down? There's more? Fuck, I'm probably not going to survive this one. The only thing Frontiers is going for is that Ian Flynn wrote the story, but that's by a small margin because he said, yeah, like, when you're writing the story for a Sonic game like that, yeah, he's not in charge of the core narrative. You know, Sega would have a premise for the game that he has to match, basically. That's basically the same as what the previous writers had to do. Like, you know, the Colors guys, like Pontac and Graf, they wouldn't have made the concept of, like, okay, Sonic's gonna go to Eggman's amusement park. Like, that would have been Sega saying, or Sonic Team saying, hey, this is what we want to do for this next game. Can you know, sort of just write the dialogue around that? We have these ideas that we want to have in it, just sort of fill in from that. So that's not really anything new. But yeah, it does mean that compared to like the comics, which he has not full control over, but he has a lot more. Like he's designing the narrative sort of from scratch in the comics. So, so he's got a lot more. Got a lot more going on in there. Director's the same guy from Forces. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Let's play some Bayo 2. We'll switch over. I could play Wonderful 101. I have the Switch version. I mean, I have the PC version as well. I could change to PC capture, but I'm already using the Switch. I feel like I'll stick with that. Makes more sense. Let me turn off the recording. Turn off that. Seems like I can record and stream at the same time just fine. The director seems well-meaning, just not a fan of the direction he wants to go in. I agree. Alright, let's get Bayo 2 out. Oh, this controller could probably use a little clean. Just a bit of hand grime on it, you know? Some of that kind of yummy shit. I don't want this stream to go for super long today, by the way. You know, I'll keep going for a bit longer, but I'm not aiming to be here for hours and hours upon end or anything. What I've been going for like just an hour already, you know, it might go for a bit longer. But I got things to do. I got to build my. I'm making a Ash Williams from Evil Dead costume for Halloween, and I got to build the chainsaw. And you know, rest assured, I'll put photos up on Twitter or whatever once it's actually done, like for Halloween night. If Frontiers was more like Sonic Utopia in terms of gameplay, I would be interested. I agree. But we are way past the chance of that ever being the case. Let me turn the recording filter back on. I may as well get some footage of Bayo 2 because I'm probably going to need it for my video. So yeah, basically this whole situation with the Helena Taylor stuff with Bayonetta is just, yeah, it's really, really unfortunate, and I'm not crazy about it. Like I still really, really wish she was in the game, even just as like an end of game sort of cameo thing, as like the real Bayonetta coming back, because we know there's the multiverse stuff. We know that now. Oh, I should clarify, I haven't watched the most recent trailer for Bayo 3 either. I deliberately... Okay, this seems a bit quieter than Astral Chain. I'm going to turn it back up. Turn up like -15. What was I saying? Something about the cameo of like the other, you know, as another Bayonetta. Which side am I on with the Bayo 3 drama? I mean, I'm kind of in the, I don't know, like sort of indifferent side right now, to be honest. Because I just don't really know, like, what's going on, you know? It's so up in the air, really, right now, of like, who is saying what, who do we believe? Yeah, just very annoying. But yeah, sorry, I was trying to say, haven't watched the most recent trailer for Bayo 3 because I didn't want to get spoiled for it. And I love a lot of the alternate outfits in this game. Not so much the cop one and shit. Oh, I don't like that one either, but I love the dresses. The Nintendo ones are pretty cool. I hope Bayo 3's got some fun new outfits as well. We'll just go with default.
You want to play with Bayonetta?
I'm gonna miss that voice. I'm gonna really miss that voice in Bayo 3. Now, do I have, surely I've got, yeah, okay, Eternal Testimony. Haven't played Bayo 3 in a while. Or Bayo 2 in a while. Okay, I'm on hard. Have I played the whole game through on... Okay. Oh, so I did do Pure Plat on hard. Okay. The thing is, doing Pure Plat Bayo 2, pretty easy, because you can just use items. So nothing crazy. Speaking of spoilers, I'm going to hop out. I intend to finally catch up on the other Bayo games before the year's end. Cool. Alright, see you, man. Speaking of Evil Dead, did you see the interview Bruce did where he mentioned him and Sam were interested in continuing the show through an animated series? Yeah, I actually just finished Ash vs. Evil Dead just the other day. I watched it for the very first time. Been meaning to watch it for a very long time in general. So yeah, finally watched the whole show. The ending is a bit unfortunate that like there's not really anything after that. So that's, you know, that's a shame. But overall, really good show. Really liked it. And if they want to continue it a little more, an animated thing, like yeah, cool.
Wait, who the fuck are you?
I hope this fucking Loki dude doesn't come back in Bayo 3. I don't want to see him again. He's annoying.
Hey, I am no. Wait, how did?
But yeah, in general, Spin Dash, when you ask about where I am on the Bayo 3 thing, that's sort of what we're talking about here. Is like it's a very like, I don't know, man. It's all over the place. At the moment, I'm still getting the game, still going to be streaming, and still going to be critiquing it when it comes out. So
Kids these days.
that's where we are. And I'm just hoping that the core gameplay is an improvement over 2, because 2 is very good casually, I think. But the advanced mechanic stuff is just not quite there.
So much for a cat always landing on his feet, Cheshire.
I'm gonna miss her so much, man. It's just not the same. It's the design as well. Her design in 3 just looks so much younger. She's not the same. Like, Bayonetta has this sort of mature class to her. I mean, she's like over 500 years old for one thing, but you know, she has
Mamma mia!
She has a level of that sort of sassiness, but just yeah, she's not like a young girl, you know, and that's kind of what the Bayo 3 design looks like to me. She looks like a much younger girl doing like cheerleader dances and stuff, and it's not the same. It's not the same. I hope the new Demon Masquerade stuff is good. It's actually kind of weird to me now coming back to play this stuff like, whoa, this is 60 FPS, because playing Astral Chain all this time, being stuck at 30, this is much better. Yes, that's Yuri Lowenthal, yep. And that's part of what makes the whole situation with Bayo 3 really weird, is that like every other actor came back. Like everyone is there except Helena Taylor. Well, and I guess if you count Enzo's voice from the first game, but I think that was because the original one passed away. Something like that. Now, I gotta get used to the fact that the combos are different. The Love is Blue. Right, you can actually start combos with kick in this, that you in Bayo 1 with Scarborough Fair. Yeah, with Scarborough Fair, you can't really start combos with kick that much. You only get like one shitty kick combo, but in this game they gave you some kick combos, which is neat. Yeah, the one thing I really don't want to see come back, which I don't think they are, I don't really want to see the flying bosses come back, like the ones where Bayonetta's got her wings and she's just flying around. Again, casually they're kind of cool, but like, you know, like, oh my. What the fuck? Was it meant to be that easy? I thought I'm playing on hard. Jesus, okay. Easy. Yeah, the one just the flying ones, they're cool as like a spectacle thing, but they take away a lot of the what do you call it? Like, just the depth of the combat, because if you're flying around, you lose all of your aerial combos and shit. So, okay, that time he's still there, so, like, I don't know what's going on with that. And I know the other thing with this game a lot of people don't like is the way the enemies will, like, kick you out of combos, basically. And yeah, that shit is pretty annoying. Cool. Yeah, I haven't played this that much in a while. Kaiju bosses seem to be the replacement for the spectacle bosses. Yeah. Also, Umbran Climax seems to be gone as well, which is this game's Devil Trigger thing. That's why Bayonetta's glowing purple right now, because I've got a full bar of magic. It's for the Umbran Climax, where she just like unleashes Wicked Weaves everywhere and stuff. And yeah, the problem is that the Umbran Climax kind of overshadows everything else in the game, like even torture attacks and stuff. There's like no reason to do torture attacks because Umbran Climax is just better. That kind of shit. Trying to remember what combos I have. The Love is Blue. Umbran Climax in Bayo 2 felt not good. Yeah, like, again, casually it's a thing that's fine, but I can see why the higher tier players, which I'm sort of slowly, you know, turning into more, I can see why it's a problem. I enjoyed your recent Jurassic Park video. Hopefully Hollywood would listen and stop being safe. I would love to see them listen and change with that stuff, but they won't. Fuck, I was trying to do a dodge offset there. Oh shit. Alright, here we go. So this is Umbran Climax, where you just fucking... You can just kind of button mash here. And I guess another reason... I can't counter these guys. There's like a cutscene counter thing you can do. There we go. These are kind of cool. Slam. Hey, Pariah, how you doing? I wish this game wasn't like $50 on Switch. Yeah, Nintendo. You know, I wish this game was on PC. My worries about the Bayo 3 combat is it feels a bit more automated. Also, the removal of the lock-on. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. I am not a fan of how they've changed the lock-on. That's really gonna... That is currently worrying me and will probably continue to worry me a bit going forward. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that either. I do not want to have to click the left stick in to lock on and then let the camera just sort of decide what it wants to do. Yeah, lock-on in Bayonetta isn't, like, vital, but it's definitely useful. Because if you want to do the DMC inputs, like that, or like that, or like, you know, because this is basically what, like high time, or better example would be use the sword. You know, that's basically your DMC launcher, and then you've got Stinger, which you can do without lock on. Oh no, never mind, that's Tetsuzanko. Sorry, you can do it without lock on. I don't think you can do the launch though. You have to like do a pause combo for it, which is similar. Also, afterburner kick, like that. If you want to afterburner kick onto an enemy that's below you, you want to be locked on, or else you're not gonna get it. Yeah, lock on in Bayonetta is definitely not as vital as DMC. DMC, like, really, you need lock on. I mean, the first DMC, you literally can't shoot enemies without being locked on. So DMC is definitely more about it than Bayonetta, but it's still pretty useful in Bayonetta and pretty fucking handy to have. And so, yeah, I feel like them changing it is just worrying to me. And I hope I can stomach it. And I hope they still have some fun outfits and shit. I wouldn't mind if there's still some more Nintendo stuff. Or if they want to add some Sega stuff would be nice as well. I don't know if they will. Because the first Bayonetta felt more like a Sega thing, and then obviously this one feels a bit more Nintendo because Nintendo published it. But Sega still owns the IP and like is heavily involved with it. Maybe one day we can get like a mod for Bayo 3 that puts her original voice back in. Even like the way she dances in 3 just doesn't look the same as the first two games. She's much more elegant, obviously, you know, like kind of sexy and sort of provocative and stuff, but the dancing in 3, I get like it just feels more like a cheerleader or like a pop idol or something. Just doesn't feel quite the same. Frame rate looks to be on par with Sonic Unleashed on PS3. I think Bayo 3's frame rate seems fine in the core combat for the most part. I'm pretty sure in the big kaiju fight bits, I've heard it's locked at 30 FPS in those segments. Which is kind of lame. Not too bad. I mean, I guess for that stuff it's fine. Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater? Someone want to decipher that? I don't know what that means. Get the vibe that Sega is just a necessary middleman because they own it. I doubt they care or contribute that much to the games. Probably. Or at least after Bayo 1. Yeah, definitely. It is kind of cool coming back to this though. Yeah, I haven't played Bayo 2 in a little while. Because normally when I play Bayo, I just play 1 on Steam. Or I was playing 1 again on Switch recently. Like hard mode and stuff. Hard mode in Bayo 1 is definitely harder than this, that's for sure. This is on hard mode and it is not hard at all, really. I still think visually 3 doesn't look as good as this.
My head feels like it's gonna burst.
That could be part of it with the frame rate thing. I think from all the gameplay, all the core Bayonetta gameplay I've seen from videos for Bayo 3, the frame rate looks pretty good. Like I haven't had any issues with that. My thing is like, is it still 720p or is it 1080p now or 900p? I'm pretty sure it's 900. I don't think it's 1080. But who knows? Frame rate's obviously the more important thing, but I'm also just really not a fan of 720p being a resolution of a 2022 released brand new video game. I think that is a little bit unacceptable. It's kind of insane.
Then this will be all the easier.
Resolution appears to be dynamic. It probably is. Because it's worth mentioning that Bayo 3 is, you know, built for Switch from the ground up, whereas Bayo 1 was 360 PS3, then ported to Wii U, then ported to Switch. Bayo 2 was Wii U, then ported to Switch. It is just weird that, like, most games ported to Switch, they got a resolution boost. Bayonetta's still 720 on Switch. Maybe they're just not, like, the best ports or something, but, I just find that strange. You know, like every other game that's been ported to Switch, like looks and runs better, except Bayonetta. Well, Bayonetta runs a little better, but it still gets frame drops from time to time, and I just kind of feel like, I don't know, it should have been possible to avoid that, but you know, who knows. Yeah, I'm still really looking forward to finally having a brand new Bayonetta game. Again, you know, like I was there for the launch of Bayo 2, so I guess to recap a bit, and I'll probably go over this in either in the video or like in the Bayo 3 live stream, but what got me into Bayonetta was the right, I forgot, in 2 you can't shoot when you're holding an angel weapon because it changes to the Y button. Yeah, the demo for Bayo 2 had come out on Wii U like a month before the game was releasing, and someone said to me, like, oh, hey, you gonna try the Bayo 2 demo? And I was like, oh, completely forgot about that. Maybe, like, I don't know, like, you know, I never played them, I never really cared. So I was like, yeah, maybe I will. And then I just, like, on a whim, I guess, just, like, gave it a try. And, let's fucking get this guy. And then like, within, like, 5 minutes of playing, I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest game I've ever played. I have to get this. Like, I can't miss out on this. I'm getting this day one. So I was there day one for Bayonetta 2, and yeah, that's been my that's been my sort of, yeah, Bayonetta exposure experience kind of thing. Was from that, and then obviously went and played 1 and all that stuff. And for the longest time, I liked 2 more, because again, 2 is kind of the easier experience, like casually and stuff. But going for like those higher sort of ranks and difficulties and like the combat stuff, like you'll notice things. It's like, that's kind of weird. You know, why do they let you use items and not punish you anymore? Why do some of the enemies just like block you all the time? Why are the one-on-one fights kind of bad in this game? Like fighting Jean in Bayo 1 is like really fun and intense, and fighting like Balder in this game just feels kind of empty and floaty because they just dodge like every move you throw at them. You just can't hit them ever. That's frustrating. So yeah, I still think Bayo 1, you know, looks kind of dated. Like just kind of flat and gray and stuff. Bayo 2 is this beautiful improvement. It's much more vibrant and pretty, and the skin is really rich and all that stuff. Like the characters look a bit more real, but also kind of stylized. And Bayo 3 kind of feels like it's gone like this weirdly flat pseudo-anime kind of, that plasticky look. Like what, if I remember correctly, like I think like No More Heroes 3 kind of looks like that weird sort of shine, Fresnel shine around the characters, like Mario 3D World kind of thing, where they just look like plastic. I don't know. I'll see how I feel when I play the game, but I think Bayo 3 looks kind of flat. A little flat and grey, but I hope the game looks better when I play it. I don't know. And the consensus I've heard from so many videos about it and reviews and previews has been that
You're a Lumen Sage.
has been that the game is absolutely held back by the Switch hardware. Like, it looks pretty good, but it's just that thing of like, man, imagine what it could look like if it, you know, wasn't on the Switch. Yeah, it's not that I think these fights can't necessarily be fun. It's just that they just dodge like all of your attacks. Like I remember watching my brother play this for the first time like a while ago. He played Bayonetta 1 and 2, and watching him like fight the final boss, and how he couldn't land a single hit because they just dodge everything. Like every time I go to attack, he just moves out of the way. So this is a general problem with Bayo 2 that a lot of people have, is that the game basically forces you to use Witch Time for everything. Witch Time and Umbran Climax. Like, you can't really do anything with Bayonetta's like normal moveset. Like, see, even then the Witch Time, like, isn't a thing, like it doesn't scale with your with like the timing of your dodge as well. So in Bayo 1, Witch Time is based on the timing of your dodge. So the later you dodge, the more witch time you get. And in this, it's like the same every time, I think. Bayo 3 looks like when a game gets ported to Switch and they just lower all the settings to make it playable. Yeah, a little bit. I struggle to disagree with that assessment. But yeah, the general thing with the combat in this game is there's so many enemies where they just kind of make you use witch time. You just, like, you can't attack without witch time. And Bayo 1 was, and Matthew Matosis has talked about this, that Bayo 1's, like, core mechanic is not witch time, it's dodge offset. Because when you play on non-stop Infinite Climax, you don't have witch time anymore. They turn it off. So the game is designed for you to not need witch time. And there's also enemies like Gracious and Glorious, which are, you know, a variant on Grace and Glory, who are some of the toughest enemies in the game. And they don't give you witch time in Bayo 1. And they're really hard because of that. But it means that the game is sort of pushing you to, like, not have to rely on it as much, which I think is a good, because witch time's great, but, like, yeah, it is sort of like, hey, you still got to make sure you can, you know, get along without it. Whereas this game, like, really makes you use witch time and Armor and Climax, because Armor and Climax is basically like a just win thing. Yeah, and then Infinite Climax in Bayo 2, yeah, it keeps witch time. I love this shot. That's so cool. I love Madonna Butterfly. I'm very glad she's got like a big role in 3. She's so cool. Like, I'm still all this stuff. Like, I'm still really looking forward to Bayo 3 for, but you know, we're just gonna have to see how it goes. Other thing with these flying ones, it's kind of hard to see, like, your enemies sometimes. That's part of my problem that I was having with Astral Chain as well, is that because the game relies so much on you having your Legion out and attacking alongside you, and sort of, like, throwing your Legion at an enemy, and then you jump, you pull on the chain and jump over to that enemy, and you're attacking the enemy in midair at the same time. Like, it means you can't see the enemy you're attacking, because, like, you've got your Legion standing in front of you, sort of blocking what you're doing. So, like, you can't see shit. And I've had that happen to me a lot of times, and it's very frustrating. But, like, I'm getting attacked by the enemy that I can't see. Fuck. Yeah, the hard mode in this game is pretty easy. This is the hardest difficulty before you get to Non-Stop Infinite. I don't think Umbran Climax is inherently a bad idea either. I think it could have been fine. Just maybe needed to not be as broken, or maybe it should have needed like extra magic to activate. You know, have like torture attacks available with a bar of magic, have Umbran Climax available with 2 bars of magic. And yeah, the problem with these flying ones, yeah, is like you lose like half of the depth of the combat. You can't juggle enemies anymore. So it means enemies are just always going to be not in like a hit stun state where they're in the air. It means they're just flying all the time. It's like you're stuck on the ground. Like you're stuck on the ground. Bye, Theodore. I'm probably not going to stream for too much longer anyway. So, all right, we need to punch out.
Almost.
Bam, bam, bam.
Got you.
Ow. What does Umbran Climax do on a Madonna Butterfly? Oh, it just powers me up. Go. Just the color in this game is just so much better than Bayo 1, and at the moment looks better than Bayo 3 as well. I love the spectacle, just so long as, you know, the gameplay is still propped up alongside it. Yeah, I'd recommend like sort of hopping between 1 and 2 and just seeing how you feel about them side by side.
Like my new haircut?
One thing I do really like that I've seen in Bayo 3 is that they've changed the way the mission, like the verse sort of ranking stuff goes, where now it's easier to see which verses you've done and which ones you might have missed that have like a secret mission in them. So Platinum have they have started to slip a little bit, I think. And I think Nier Automata was kind of sort of a little bit of a start of that, if you ask me. Not that it was inherently like their game, because it wasn't really, but I think Nier Automata was sort of where it started to get a little weird. They lost their focus of core combat design and shifted into RPG shit, and apparently they're looking at doing like live service stuff, which is worrying. I love this dress, it's so pretty. I love her outfits in this game. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Platinum, and I really hope that they have been acting in good faith with the whole controversy as well. Like, I hope it wasn't their fault. You know, when everyone was attacking Hideki Kamiya for the Helena Taylor stuff, I was a little bit on the fence with that, because I was like, well, I don't think... yeah, Astral Chain, is definitely similar to Automata, which is part of why I don't really like it that much. Yeah, when people going after Hideki Kamiya, I was kind of like, look, he's definitely acting like a bit of an idiot and not doing the best job at addressing the situation. However, I don't believe he was the one who decided on the budget for Helena Taylor's voice. I don't think that blame could be solely placed on him. But I don't know, he is like vice president of Platinum or something like that. Like, he is, while he is a director of the games and stuff, he is also like, you know, pretty up there as like head of Platinum kind of thing. So, but yeah, I don't believe that he's the one like in charge of those kind of financial decisions. If anything, that would likely be a Nintendo thing, or Nintendo gives the budget to Platinum, Platinum has to allocate it, someone else at Platinum is running all that stuff. I don't think that's Kamiya. If anything, he might have fought for a higher budget for her, but I don't know. From what we've heard, it sounds like Platinum wanted Helena Taylor back, and they tried to get her like as much as they could within their budget. But we don't really know. We might not ever know, and that's really unfortunate. But that's just kind of how it is at the moment, and it sucks. Slam. I don't remember if I finished this fourth witch trial in the Switch version of Bayo 2. I know I did it on Wii U, and like, I've never done the Rodan fight though. I have the ability to do the Rodan fight, but I've never finished it. Too hard. Feels like I should be able to do that other kick there from Bayo 2 at that point. Ow. Gotta remember what all the enemies can do in this game. So yeah, I would like to think Platinum really did try to get her back, and just had to sort of make do with what they could. Oh, I think that gave the punish prompt again, right? Sorry about that. That's the thing a lot of people don't like about this game, what that big enemy just did, where it blocked me from attacking. That's a pretty common thing in this game that is understandably quite frustrating to a lot of the higher level Bayonetta players. probably go through this witch trial thing, and then I might call it there. I feel like Wicked Weaves, in general, in this, like, coming back to this now, after playing so much of Bayo 1 recently, the Wicked Weaves definitely don't feel as strong. Again, that's probably a thing of how they encourage Witch Time so much. Like, the Wicked Weaves in Bayo 1 were like, that was your whole thing of, like, getting attacks in on enemies and stunning them and all that stuff. You had to use Wicked Weaves to really not only deal the damage, but like stun them and shit. And this, I'm not feeling that here. I feel like the Wicked Weaves are actually quite weak on their own, and they just want you to use Umbra Climax instead. You know, part of me was, for a while, wondering if they would, not if they would, but, like, if it's, you know, possible that they could, bring back Helena Taylor in, like, an update, you know? Because I was thinking, my example for this was, Back to the Future the game by Telltale, originally did not have Tom Wilson, the actor of Biff and all of the Tannins from Back to the Future. So, you know, Biff, Griff, Buford, Tannen. They originally did not have him in Back to the Future the game. And then when they, a few years later, when they did the... and I didn't want to do that, I wanted to do the stomp. Yeah. When they did the 30th anniversary edition, I think, not for the game, but for the movies, 2015. They put Tom Wilson back in the game. Like, they went and re-recorded all the dialogue of Biff and whatever other Tannins are in that game, I don't remember. And Tom Wilson did it. So it's like, you know, it's not out of the question for things like this to happen and to be possible. Of like a voice actor does thing in one game, and then in another thing later they bring back the original actor, or whatever. It's not unheard of. I feel like at this point, though, the bridges have been severely burned, and that will not happen. Technically still possible if they really wanted to, but it sounds like Helena Taylor doesn't even want to anymore, which she said, like, I just want to put this all behind me, which, like, I can get from just, like, a drama perspective of, like, look, they've fucked me over, I don't want to deal with this anymore, I just want to move on. But in the context of that sort of question, it did come off a little bit more of like a cop-out of like, hey, we're trying to ask you like what's going on, and you're just saying like, just leave, it's fine, I don't care, or whatever. Like, we kind of are asking like what's going on, you know? We want some insight here from you, and she didn't really want to give it, so a little bit concerning in that regard of like, oh, well, maybe she was lying, I don't know.
So close. You've been naughty.
Nintendo probably gave them a tight budget, had to be allocated for an action game, and see them want to focus more on the core game rather than the actors. Nintendo doesn't seem to care about voice actors. I'm pretty sure a bunch of the English voices in their games are just people that work at Nintendo of America, not even actors. Curious. I still think the enemies in Bayonetta 3 look really similar to the Astral Chain enemies, and that was like a deliberate part of the first trailer of like it was a fake out of Astral Chain, because they had the Lappy costume there, the dog. And it's weird. Yeah, I still think the designs of the enemies in 3 are a little strange. I don't mind that they're different, I just think they don't really capture the same appeal of Bayonetta enemies that the first 2 games do. Should probably be going after you, shouldn't I? Ow. Whoa! Jesus, I forgot what some of these guys can do. Yeah, I just feel like in general the Wicked Weaves just aren't like stunning as much as they do in Bayo 1. And I'm sure if there's like long-time Bayo like combat veterans in here, they'll be like, "Yep, we've been saying this for years." Ow. Oh, Jesus. Wait, did I? Okay, no, I'm still... That was weird. Thought I died for a sec. Damn, I thought I was doing really well before, then I fought those demons and got fucked up bad. We'll probably stop pretty soon. What do we got? Ah, Alrune. Oh, this is something as well I completely forgot about that I wanted to mention. If Helena Taylor is absolutely not in Bayonetta 3, who's the voice in the trailer that sounds exactly like her? Like, what actor is that? What character is that? Because the voice in that, in the release date trailer that sounds like her, saying like, "Ooh, yeah, Bayonetta," like, that sounds like the original Bayonetta voice. So, oh, shit. So I don't... Fuck. Is that it for me? No, I'm still there. So yeah, I really don't, like... No, like, what the fuck's happening there? Because that's it. I seriously thought that was her. If they reused it, I feel like people would have, like, noticed, right? Like, I feel like if it was reused audio, people would have been like, oh yeah, this is from like the files of Bayo 1 or something, unless if it was like a take from a previous game they never used and never put it in the game anywhere. I mean, that could make sense, but like, that would be kind of shitty of them, I think, to reuse that audio. I mean, I don't know if legal... I don't know. They probably are legally allowed to do it. They owned all the shit they recorded and did, but it is still, especially after all of that controversy around the voice stuff, like, which they had to assume would probably maybe go public at some point. I don't know. Yeah, not a good look for them to just like reuse audio from another game session. That seems really strange. So the only other thing I was thinking, like, it could maybe be like that Umbra and Elder character, like the older woman in the like Bayo 1, who's the one like trying to get Bayo and Jean to... Oh, and she's like, Jean, choose who you want to fight. And then she's like, I want to fight Bayonetta. And she's like, what? You can't fight your girlfriend? That woman, could be her, maybe. But I still think it sounds like Helena Taylor. It sounds like her voice. Yeah, the enemies in Bayo 3 are homunculi, yeah, man-made enemies, but there are enemies called homunculi in Astral Chain as well, and just like visually, you know, art style, aesthetic-wise, they look quite similar. I guess if anyone's got any last-minute little things to bring up, points, questions, thoughts, bring them in now, and we'll go over them real quick before I call it, because yeah, I didn't want to do a super long stream today. Oh, I should probably turn off the video recording, because I'm not capturing anything else there. How big did that file end up being? 6.9 gigs. Fun. Nice job on the Jurassic Park video. Thank you. Yeah, really happy with how that one turned out. Aside from it, there's a couple little annoying issues. Some of them are YouTube's fault. A couple of them are just my fault. Things I forgot. But, yeah, I think it turned out really well. I wish more people watched it. But I wasn't expecting the same amount of views on that as like a Sonic video. Because, as we all know, that's just that's just how it has to be. Yeah, so I guess like final closing thoughts with... Here, let me put on... Wait. Go... Title screen. Final closing thoughts about all the Bayonetta 3 stuff. There's probably more information yet to come out. We'll probably hear a little more about stuff, either more sources like from Platinum and Nintendo, or maybe Helena Taylor will say something, but it seems like she doesn't want to. Kind of seems like she just wants to kind of just run away from it a little bit. And like I can't blame her too much for not, like, just kind of want to be like, fuck it, I'm so done with this, especially because a lot of people were being really doubtful and, like, quite rude to her about the whole thing as well. But at the same time, I don't know, I feel like with that sort of accusation, with the information that's out now that might be true, I don't know, I kind of feel like it would be better for her to have a more in-depth response of like, no, that didn't happen, here's some level of proof about it, or more detail of the timeline of what happened, because some people have thought maybe the payment thing was like a misunderstanding of, like, she thought like the $4,000 they offered for, like, the cameo was what they offered for the whole game. Maybe she got mixed up with that, which I don't want to think that, because that seems kind of dumb. But I mean, it could be the case. Like, we don't know. So yeah, it's a whole messy thing. I would like to know more about it so we can just understand it better. It's going to be something I'll have to talk about at least a little bit in the video. Yeah, I still feel quite conflicted about it, because regardless of the controversy, the end result to me, the player, is that Bayonetta is just not going to feel like the same character to me anymore, both for the voice and for the other decisions they've made of design and stuff, but that might at least be explained in the narrative. But the problem now is that even if she goes back to looking older, or it's a different Bayonetta or whatever, it's still not going to be this. She's not going to have the voice. But I don't know, maybe Jennifer Hale is intentionally sounding a bit different for, like, this younger Bayonetta, and then when we get, like, an older one, she might sound more like the real one. I don't know. Not even a Jurassic Park fan, but ended up watching the entire video from beginning to end. Outstanding job. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wasn't the biggest fan of the shade Helena threw at the new Bayo voice acting in the video she dropped. Yeah, I see why people think that, and I do kind of get it. I kind of took it as she wasn't trying to, like, throw shade. It was just a general acknowledgement of, like, I did this character and I've, like, wrongfully had it taken away from me. It's not really fair for someone else to come in and act like they own the character when, if anything, it's me. But yeah, I don't know. It is a tricky thing, because it's like, well, voice actor replacements happen. You know, if people like her voice, the new Bayonetta voice, and they want to have her sign things as Bayonetta, I mean, like, you can't stop her, you know, like, that is kind of a tricky thing. I guess she did come off a bit, yeah, like, weird with that. And then also her last video was the one where she, like, quoted the Bible, and that was the one I was a bit weird about. And that's, I've known Helena Taylor, who's Christian, for a long time. I'm not religious, and Christianity especially, I'm not going to act like an expert on it, but I definitely don't approve of, you know, the general common mindsets that are associated with that religion. Doesn't mean that if you're religious and Christian or anything, you're a bad person. Inherently, it does not mean that at all, but, you know, it's pretty hard to disconnect bad people, bad, conservative, hateful people from Christianity, because there's often a link there. Like a certain Christian Pratt. So I've known Helena Taylor as Christian for a long time, but she always seemed like a not insane. She always seemed like a normal kind of person for the most part. At least from what I'd seen of her. You know, and I thought, like, well, she's voicing a character who gets naked and kills angels and has demons as weapons and stuff. Surely she can't be, like, insanely conservative because she wouldn't want to voice this character, right? Like, that, if you're a super Christian, like, hey, we want you to voice this character who fucking gets a butt out all the time, gets naked, fights angels, kills angels and stuff, like, you'd be like, no, I love Jesus, I'm not doing that. So I always thought maybe she's kind of normal. But, you know, I remember seeing, like, when the Queen died, she was, like, posting stuff about the Queen. I was like, well, she's British. A lot of British people love the Queen for some reason. Like, okay, that's not too weird. But there's been sort of people investigating into, like, you know, things she said before, and there's been a few things they found which are a bit... the one in particular that I agree is like, ooh, that's not good, is the one people are using as like a site, like an example of transphobia, where someone asked her, would Bayonetta say trans rights? Which is a very simple yes or no question. Obviously the answer is yes, but it is a binary question. Yes or no. And she did this whole dodge around it of like, I believe in gentle female power and like weird shit, you know, of like too much division, you know. I think everyone is great, you know, if they're a Trump supporter or if they're a Bernie supporter or something, which is like, just say yes. Just say Bayonetta would say trans rights. Like, it's really not hard. Especially a character like Bayonetta who has a huge following of LGBTQ plus people. You know, the gays love Bayonetta. So, not a good look for her actress to be sort of dodging the question of, like, would Bayonetta support trans people? Like, of course she would. What fucking... How do you avoid saying yes to that? Just in general, like, why? So that I will admit is, like, that's a pretty bad look for her. I don't... You know, it's from a few years ago. I don't want to say, well, she's definitely transphobic, but, you know, we've seen time and time again, people have a little slip up with something, and then you dig deeper, and it's like, nah, this wasn't a random little thing they said, this is how they feel. And that really sucks. That makes it even worse, because it's like, damn, I love this voice. Why does the person behind it have to be a piece of shit? So I hope she's not a piece of shit, and I hope she didn't, you know, lie about all this stuff, and maybe there was just miscommunication, or maybe there's more to it we don't know. Because, like, I don't want to believe Platinum did the wrong thing. I don't want to believe Helena Taylor did the wrong thing. I don't think Jennifer Hale did anything wrong. She's fine. I think, you know, she's just doing a job. I don't want to believe that there are, like, people that have intentionally fucked up here. But maybe there are, and that sucks. I love the artwork in this game. I have the art book. I haven't actually read it all the way through because I've been still trying to read through that Jurassic Park history book bit by bit. I'm so busy. Looking forward to all the extra stuff in Bayo 3 as well, like going through all the art gallery and music and stuff, because their designs are fucking awesome. And that's the thing for me with, like, the aesthetic sort of being a bit bland in 3 is I'm like, oh, I hope there's still cool stuff. I hope there's still stuff that looks nice. Like, that looks incredible. All this shit. It's great. Incredible art design. Canonically, Bayonetta would say trans rights. Of course she would. She's probably gay. I hope they just fucking confirm that already. Just say that her and Jean are together, because it's implied in 2. I mean, the romance is already sort of implied in 1, but in 2 there is, like, a line of, like... Oh, I'm missing something? Maybe Rodan. There's a line at the beginning of 2 when they're getting, you know, Christmas shopping and stuff, where I think Jean says, like, I'll see you back home, or something, which is, like, they live together, right? Like, that's the implication. And there's, like, artwork, like, from the official concept artist and stuff of, like, Bayonetta and Jean living together, like, Bayonetta, like, ripping the bedsheet off Jean because she's, like, sleeping in or something. You know, just make it canon. Just do it. Just admit it. Yeah, no, it's very heavily been implied many times. Kamiya has done, like, a poll of, like, who's the best couple? And it's like Dante, Trish, Joe and Sylvia, Bayonetta and Jean. Dante and Trish I don't approve of, though. That's kind of weird. Trish is literally supposed to look like his mother. I think that's a little strange. Dante and Lady, it's fine. Not Dante Trish, though. I think that's a little bit weird. Yeah, so I think we've, you know, about wrapped up. I think I've said as much as I can think of just spewing words out of my mouth unscripted in this. Yeah, still very looking forward to playing the game, trying to get myself back to, you know, not feeling, down about it, just trying to be like, come on, I want to be excited about this game. So yeah, I'll be here in less than a week's time. Friday for me, Friday, so Thursday for a lot of American people and stuff. So I'll have the game before a lot of other people do, probably, because Australian time zones. Yeah, we'll stream Bayo 3. I'm gonna stream, you know, a good chunk of Bayo 3 from the start, and then if the numbers of the stream are kind of dipping, if not a lot of people are there watching, I'll likely stop streaming because I'll need to have lunch anyway, probably around this time. I'll need to have lunch, have a break. If the numbers are looking pretty low, I probably won't keep streaming, and I'll just go upstairs and play the game on the TV, and I'll keep recording the footage, but I won't be streaming it, just so I can enjoy the game at my own pace, casually, not having to entertain people. And I can play it on my 75-inch TV with surround sound, so, you know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, and that's fine as well, Pariah. Yeah, like, I'm sure there's people that aren't going to want to have anything spoiled for them, and that's why as well I thought, like, well, if I'm streaming the start of the game, you know, people can kind of tune in, see a bit, and then if they're like, all right, I want to play it myself, then, you know, if I'm going to have break for lunch, I might just stop streaming. Maybe the next day I could come back and stream a bit more, maybe that night if, like, I've played a bit more off stream. I don't know, we'll see, but I'm definitely going to stream at least the first few hours, and then record the rest, and then use it for video. And then maybe like a week later I could do another stream of just playing for ranks and mucking around and stuff. Yeah, you know, Ace, the whole controversy probably brought way more sales to the game. Not even to do with the boycott of like people going, I'm not going to boycott, I'm going to buy it anyway, but just like it probably, people are like, oh, that game's coming out soon? Like, oh, hey, oh, I'm going to go get that. So like, I don't know. I mean, I guess at this point I hope the game sells well. Like, I don't know. I don't want mistreatment to happen to actors and game dev people anymore and all that shit. I don't want to be in support of that, but at the same time, like, we don't really know what's going on, and I hope Bayonetta 3 is good and does well and all of that. Let me switch over to the main webcam thing. You can see my DMC5 shirt. From the Yeti. Nero and Virgil. Alright, well, I think we're going to call it here. Thank you everyone for coming along. If you've been watching on the VOD, hi, hello. Just remember, with the whole Helena Taylor stuff, I only know what I know as of now. I can't talk about what's happening in the future, so don't get mad at me if I've missed out on something. See you on Friday, next Friday, for the Bayonetta 3 stream. And yeah, we'll see how things go, whether or not I stream the entire game or just the start or chunks of it, whatever, stuff like that. Please watch the Jurassic Park video if you haven't already. Share it around if you liked it. Sonic Frontiers, I don't know what's happening with that. Depends if I get my review copy. Happy Halloween as well. All my decorations are upstairs in the living room, but we've gone, you know, not all out, but my first time doing Halloween decorations, we've done a lot. So spent a few $100, and I gotta make my chainsaw. I gotta make my Ash Williams chainsaw over this weekend and get that most of the way done before Bayo 3. Because when Bayo 3 comes out, I'm not doing anything else. So I gotta watch all my other horror movies and maybe some other horror games in the meantime and finish building that chainsaw. So yeah, that's it. Thank you everyone for coming along, and play Outer Wilds, and see you next time. Thank you for coming.